Citizen Worm, I more or less agree with you. I say more or less because I don't even go into is it effective. I agree with you. It's not actually effective, and it can be made to look effective if you have enough money to follow every lead. You might get one truth for every 100 untruths and be able to spend millions narrowing in on that through other non-torturous means. But whatever. I don't want to be a torturer. That's not the goal. That's not what we're trying to do. I can't believe I'm in an era where we're discussing something like torture policy. I mean, that's just astounding to me. And I think the one silver lining of this is, as we know, we and everybody has tortured people for long periods of time. And there have been secret CIA prisons for years, years before the whole Iraq war, before any of this issue. There has been interrogations, clandestine interrogations, and torture is used. And we know that, right? So the silver lining is that now that the Bush administration did it so blatantly, that maybe all of that torture will finally become illegal. Maybe it'll all be against our policy. So maybe talking about torture policy will be okay since we actually were torturing before. Now we can actually discuss it and decide let's not do that. If you give up your freedoms to preserve freedoms, then you didn't really preserve freedoms. Now, sometimes you do have to fight for survival. Might you have to torture someone? Um, no, I think that's on the other side of the line. And again, it wouldn't really matter. It's like you can make medical advances by letting Nazis experiment on Jews too, as they were just animals. And is that what you want to do? Is that important enough for these people? Obviously not you, but I mean, the plural you. Is that what we want to do? Is that what we want to have done? That we'll just treat people as lab animals so that we can get better medical technology for those that aren't treated as lab animals? No, that's not even a real question. It's disgusting. It's morally repugnant to infinite degrees. It's just, I cannot believe we're discussing this. I have to wrap my head around, but maybe we can discuss it and finally get to the conclusion that no, we don't want to torture. That's not who we're trying to become. It's not what we're trying to do. It does matter how you do something. It does matter how you live your life. When you're trying to preserve a way of life, if you violate that way of life while you're preserving it, you have an issue. You have a serious issue. So, having said that, I really don't know what else to say. It's both a sad and maybe promising day if we could finally get to the point where no, we will not torture. There are lots of ways to get information out of people, even ones that are borderline cruel and unusual. If somebody's scared of a bug and you put a bug by them, it's not even a poisonous bug. Yeah, there's a psychological torture aspect of it. We can figure out what those borderline cases should be. And we'll still have arresting somebody and putting them in a prison and treating them nice and waiting for Stockholm Syndrome to set in. There'll still be other methods. It's not like we're saying, oh, you can't even arrest them. I mean, some people would say being arrested and put in a cage is somewhat torturous. We're going to allow some of that. We're going to allow some of that. We're really not even talking about, are we going to be perfectly kind to everybody? We're not even talking about that. We're talking about, are we going to be piling people in pyramids and forcing them to fillet each other and waterboarding them and electrocuting them and threatening them with electrocution and having dogs attack them or threatening to have dogs. I mean, we're talking about some pretty severe versions. I mean, I'm willing to do some of the less severe versions, like arrest somebody and question them against their will. To me, that's already rather assertive. And I'm willing to do that for the same reason some people are willing to torture, because there might be a pragmatism to it. Someone is a danger and you have to protect yourself from them and have information that you need in order to protect yourself. But that doesn't mean I'll do anything. I won't. What if it wasn't torture? What if it was just there was a terrorist there, and it's like the terrorist said, well, go shoot 5 random innocent people in France and we'll tell you. Would that be okay? Because innocent people get tortured. There's no doubt about how the statistics of this work. We're really asking. We're not asking, should we torture guilty people with information? Because the thing is, we don't have the information. We don't know who's guilty yet. And so the question really is, should we torture lots of innocent people in order to get information from the few that aren't innocent and have it? I think it's pretty clear the answer ought to be no. But I can understand people with a belief system that think the answer should be yes, just like I can understand people exist that have a belief system that genocide's necessary. You know, these people, I'm in the world, I've seen these people, but it's just entirely alien to me. I'm not going to be one of those people. That's not the world I'm trying to live in. So, anyway, good video. Thanks. I'm glad people are talking about it. I really am. I'm exhausted at the very notion that this is a political debate. I mean, this is something we should be discussing entirely philosophically at most. It's so wearying for this to be an actual political topic, like we're arguing about what the tax rate should be for a particular kind of activity or something. Only we're talking about, should we do immoral things? You know, and it's funny too. People are talking about the CIA being restricted now and saying, I mean, I even heard on NPR, the CIA might not be as willing to take risks, knowing they could be prosecuted. Risks as a euphemism for breaking the law. See, I'm a very straightforward person. I think if you're gonna torture, just say it's legal to torture. We're doing it. But these people that like torture, a lot of them, they're fine with it being illegal. They just want to be able to do it anyway. So we can ask if that makes sense too. Do we really want to make something illegal and then do it? Why not just keep it legal? Or if we want it to be illegal, why not follow through on those beliefs and not do it?